Hello, everyone. We made it after a long, almost 2.5 year wait and anticipation for this election. We have finally made it to election eve. So, a lot's going to go down tomorrow. Mandy's Randomness will have live coverage of results coming in starting at 9:30. So, that's 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So I just want to get the heads up if you want the exact time. But I'm still shocked we've actually made it. Even though we're still dealing with this long pandemic, I guess we will know if this man right here from Florida will get another 4 more years in the White House, or if this man from Delaware will be our 46th president. So a lot is going to have to be decided. Again, I don't know how this is going to play out. People keep saying, oh, it can go into days before we even know who won. So, I mean, I'll talk more about that when I get to my electoral map prediction. So, I want to get into the polls. So, I will put up 538 to win. Should have had that up. I'll pull that up right now. Let me pull up the poll. So, right now, they still have Biden favored to win. Here we go. See if I can pull it up. National polls right now, as of the day before the election, Biden is up 8.4. So it is shrinking. Yeah, see this? Trump was trying to narrow the gap on September 20th, but look, it is narrowing off again. But remember this. Hillary Clinton, on November 8th, 2016, was only at a 4-point lead. Margin of error, right? For Hillary Clinton. So now, we are going to go into the polling. So, take a look at this. So, go here first. Real Clear Politics, they have Biden with a 6.5 lead. That's the way it looks right now. So now I'm going to go to here, take a look at a couple polls. So we have polls in Pennsylvania today. Monmouth has Biden up by 7. Rasmussen has Biden up by 3. Rasmussen somehow has President Trump's approval at 52-48. So that's interesting. One poll put the Green Party nominee and the Libertarian nominee. Nobody really cares about that. I mean, Joe Jorgensen's just become a meme as it is. You know what it is. It's always two-party. Okay. Here are the polls from yesterday. I want to focus over the weekend. That's what I'm focusing on. So over the weekend, Florida's been mixed. As you can see here, a couple polls had Trump up, a couple polls had Biden up. North Carolina, same thing. Pennsylvania, a lot of the trends in Pennsylvania have been for Biden. So it looks like Biden could flip. But I'm going to give a realistic map on how Biden's going to win. And I'm also going to do a map on Biden winning even if Trump wins New York. Because I still think there's a chance it could happen. So let's get into the quick poll in Georgia. Georgia had a 2-point lead for Trump. So everybody's keeping an eye on Georgia because it's too close to call on Georgia. Georgia may flip. There's a chance it could flip. Michigan, In Michigan, we see Biden leading in Michigan. Iowa, it looks like that might stay in the Trump column, but we do not know that for sure. Wisconsin, Biden's leading Ohio. Ohio and Florida are going to be the ones to really keep an eye on. You know, that we know Florida has the most electorates in any of the swing states. I'll get to the Senate polls in just a second. All right. Congress, it looks like the Democrats are going to keep the House. So I don't really want to go too much into this. I want to go right into the Senate. So let's go to the Senate. Let's focus on what's going on here in the United States Senate. So update from the race between Sarah Gideon and the incumbent Susan Collins. It looks like this Senate seat is going to flip in Maine. It looks like Sarah Gideon is going to become the next United States Senator from Maine. Maine is usually a Democrat state. I'm still surprised Susan Collins, back in 2014, won. I don't know how that's even possible, but we know why Susan Collins is going to lose. The whole controversy with Amy Coney Barrett. So that's controversial. Kentucky, I'll get into that quickly. I don't have a latest poll for Kentucky. You would think Kentucky and Alabama, there would be polls for Doug Jones and Tommy Tuberville and Mitch McConnell's seat in Kentucky. I don't even have anything from those two because centrist Democrat taking on conservative college football coach. I don't have a poll for that. All right, we got Cal Cunningham and Tom Tillis. Cal Cunningham in North Carolina is still leaning. It looks like at this particular moment. Then you got John Ossoff taking on David Perdue in Georgia. One poll a couple weeks ago had Perdue up by 1 point. One other poll had it as a tie. The spread right now, John Ossoff's leading by 1 point. It looks like at the moment. Michigan, Gary Peters taking on John James. Looks like right now Gary Peters is leading in each poll. So this would be a shock if Gary Peters lost. But it looks like Gary Peters is going to keep a hold on his seat. In Iowa, this is another close contested one that needs to be monitored. Incumbent Joni Ernst taking on Teresa Greenfield. Looks like right now Greenfield had won a lead in the Emerson, but every other poll has Ernst keeping that seat. And lastly, let's go to Kentucky. I do have an update for South Carolina, excuse me. South Carolina, again, you got Jamie Harrison taking on Lindsey Graham. And we know that on the polls, they've been up and down for Graham and they've been up for Harrison in the past couple of weeks. Looking at this, Lindsey Graham is still leading in the polls in South Carolina. Take a look down here. So Lindsey Graham could still keep this seat. Mitch McConnell could still keep his seat in Kentucky. But the other state races, I'll get into, and I'll discuss my thoughts of my electoral map going into tomorrow night. Okay, so now we'll take a look at the map. Lot to get into. I'm going to only focus on the Senate and the presidency, of course, because the House will just give me a bigger headache, and I'd rather would just read the results live tomorrow night. So, get into that. Currently, right now, we have 53 Republicans, 47 Democrats in the Senate. What we're going to do is talk about the likely scenario of the Democrats flipping the Senate. And we'll talk about Donald J. Trump's likely way to reclaim a second term, and how Joe Biden can claim to be the 46th president of the United States. Okay. So currently, once again, 53 Republicans, 47 Democrats. Now, let's go here. Let's go to Kentucky, and let's just assume Senator Mitch McConnell wins re-election. So we'll just do this. There we go. So it's 49-46 Democrats. Now, in order for the Democrats to get everything that they need, the Democrats need to have 3 or 4 seats to take control. So it would give the Democrats at least a majority here. So Texas, don't need to worry about that. Kansas. So we now look at South Carolina. I want to focus on that. Lindsey Graham could win South Carolina. So let's just assume Lindsey Graham wins South Carolina. Let's just assume we all know that Tommy Tuberville wins Alabama. Okay, so we're now at 49-46. Oh, don't forget, we have Mississippi, so that's going to stay red. Okay, so I want to see if I can just do this. Okay, there we go. I'll reset the map and do it like this. That way I'm less confused here. Red, 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 red. Okay, there we go. Oh, and red. All right, 49-46. So what's the situation now the Democrats could still win the Senate? Well, I'm assuming Chris Coons keeps Delaware. Corey Johnson keeps New Jersey. Forget who's running for Senate in Massachusetts. That doesn't matter. So let's assume Susan Collins loses. Okay, let's just assume Susan Collins loses. That's 49 right there. Now, let's do a scenario where Gary Peters wins Michigan. Gary Peters, the incumbent, wins Michigan. Okay, that's 1 seat flipped. Okay. So now you're looking at a situation where Arizona needs to flip. Okay, there we go. 49-46. Okay. Where does Colorado leave us at? 49-46. So, this is a very crucial situation here. You need South Carolina to flip. So let's just assume Lindsey Graham gets majority. Okay, there you go. Look at this. See? 50 seats. Now, 49-46, you look at a situation where gain 3 seats. So we look at this. Yeah, the Democrats would be 49-46 in this situation. So I'm just assuming this is what's going to happen. I am honestly thinking I'd be completely shocked if Tuberville lost Alabama, because remember, you have a centrist Democrat in Alabama who is the current person and may lose in Alabama, which I will be closely monitoring, because we all know what happened with Judge Roy Jones. We all remember what happened, right? Should we have to? Now, Georgia. This is where it gets interesting. This Georgia flip. There's a chance that Georgia could flip. There's a blue wave that may be happening in Georgia. So I would not rule out Georgia. But if you have Georgia, you're looking at 49-47. Two more Republicans, but the Democrats would have the House. Right, the Democrats should have the House. Pelosi should still be Speaker, and Chuck Schumer would be House Majority Leader of the Senate. My bad. So now we're going to go to President of the United States. This is how I think it's going to happen. So 49-47. Sorry if everybody thinks Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham are going to lose. I don't think they're going to lose. I'd be very shocked if Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell lost. They have hard followings with their party. Maine, again, I could see it flipping because you got Susan Collins who voted for Amy Coney Barrett. It's not like the South, where the South is typical Republican. Arizona, again, I think Mark Kelly should win just because you have a swing in Arizona that could lean to the Democrats in the next couple of years. So that's how I look at it. Oh, don't forget Minnesota. So that would mean 49. Minnesota's not flipping, okay? If anybody thinks Minnesota is flipping because of what happened to George Floyd, that's not happening. Oh, forgot about Iowa. Ooh. Right. What happens to Joni Ernst? You know what? I think Joni Ernst loses. You know why? Because I've been seeing a lot of the polls. It's 2-point lead for Joni right before I kept seeing it last week. And, you know, I don't care what the poll says today. All right? I think Joni Ernst, no matter what happens, Joni Ernst is going to win. Joni Ernst is going to lose. Excuse me. So Joni Ernst loses. 50-47. That would mean it's going to happen, I think. The way this plays out, this is the way it's going to happen, I think. Oh, and don't forget, you have New Hampshire. So if that goes blue, there you go. Okay, now let's just go to my scenario on election night. So this is the way I think it's going to play out. Nevada's going to go to Biden. So we'll give Biden win in Nevada. Biden wins Arizona. Trump wins Texas. I don't think that's going to flip, honestly. New Mexico goes to Biden. Colorado goes to Biden. Utah goes to Trump. Montana goes to Trump. Minnesota. Okay. Now I'm organized here. So this is the way it looks right now. You're looking at a situation where in Nebraska could be a toss-up. Because Nebraska goes by congressional districts. So the 2nd district leans Democrat. The 1st district leans Republican. You're looking at a situation where that happens. Maine, on the other hand, I could see going to Joe Biden. Now, I want to do a scenario where Trump wins New York, but Biden wins Pennsylvania. Okay, let's go to this scenario here. Now, why am I going to this scenario? I'll also give Biden New Hampshire, because there's a blue wall in New Hampshire. Now, the reason why I'm going with this theory that Trump could win New York is because you have upstate New York and you have Long Island, which leans Republican. That's where the real New York is. Don't count the city. The city is just, New York, New York. No. Don't forget the suburbs. All right? Don't forget the Hudson Valley. Don't forget upstate. Don't forget the Capital Region. Don't forget Buffalo. They lean Republican. So I don't want to hear it. Okay, so I'm going to give Biden Virginia, because then that would be fair. North Carolina. I think Biden wins this state because you have that scenario. So you know what? I'll give Trump Pennsylvania. Just as a scenario here. So I'm going to give Trump Pennsylvania and New York. However, I'm going to give Trump Florida. All right? I'm going to give Trump Florida and South Carolina. Give him Missouri, Kansas. So now, and go to Indiana. Okay. So now let's go to Iowa. I think this goes here. This goes here. This goes here. And Ohio goes to Biden. So meaning, Your next president of the United States will be Joseph Robinette Biden. Because Trump will have the red wave from Texas all the way to here. Trump will be the first Republican to flip New York red since 1984. Trump will also carry Pennsylvania because of the fracking issue. But Joe Biden wins Virginia and wins North Carolina because those are crucial swing states. They can go either way. Virginia, because Virginia's leaning blue lately. We see it happening, that the blue wave is being built in Virginia. Also, don't forget, there's a gubernatorial race in Virginia next year. One-term governors. Trump wins his new home state, Florida, because Florida has the base for Trump. Trump keeps his red wave, so the Democrats waste their time there. But the Democrats' effort in the Rust Belt works. Because, looking at it this way, I'm going to give Trump one district in Nebraska, Biden another district in Nebraska. So it's 281, 257. Now, this is just my map. If you disagree with me on it, that's fine. But the Democrats' effort in campaigning in the Rust Belt pays off for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio. It will be close. I think this is how it's going to end up. I know this is just my theory. If you disagree with me on Trump winning the state of New York, I'm sorry. I mean, everybody knows who I've supported in this election. I'm not going to go into it again. But something just tells me Trump's spending a lot of money on campaign ads in New York. Biden's been spending a lot of money on campaign ads in New York. Because the Democrats are so afraid of New York flipping. This is the scenario here. It goes down to this scenario, in my honest opinion. I said to my friends, there's not going to be a scenario where the winner gets 300 electoral votes. It's not going to end up that way. And again, why does Pennsylvania stay red? Because Pennsylvania, they love their fracking. West Virginia, they love their fracking. But the issue is going to be the Midwest. Because Trump loses the Midwest because of what's happened in Minnesota. What's happened in Wisconsin with Black Lives Matter. Michigan, the reason why Trump loses Michigan. Because of all of the criticism towards Gretchen Whitmer, and the Democrat blue wave somehow comes back. Now, let's assume Trump wins Michigan. But he keeps Pennsylvania, but Biden wins Pennsylvania. And Biden wins New York even. This is the realistic situation that could happen. More realistic could be this. This is realistic. I'm doing two maps. My maps and the realistic map. This is the realistic map, I think. So, here's the realistic map. Biden gets more electorals because he wins New York, like he's supposed to. He wins Ohio. So, I'm saying this right now. And I know my friends in New York are going to look at me crazy. But keep an eye on New York. Don't underestimate what's going on here. Now, why am I saying New York is going to be a toss-up besides the suburban vote? Well, New York has a lot more values than any other state in the country. People in New York are loyal about politics. It seems to be like that. And more importantly, the issues of defunding the police. New York is the economic engine of the whole country. Without New York, the country dies with it. All these theories that these people say about New York. I am saying this right now. Don't let your guard down with New York. But the realistic map, this is the way it ends up. So, with that, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to tune in to my election night coverage starting at 9:30 Eastern here on Andy's Randomness. Should be a very interesting election night. I really hope that we get the results on the night of the election, because I don't want to hear it from anybody. Oh, we don't have the results the day after the election. I hope it doesn't happen that way. I really hope it doesn't happen that way. But knowing how many people have done absentee, I bet you that's what's going to happen. I am prepared to just say this now. I am prepared that there's not going to be a result on election night. So with that, thank you all for watching. Till the next one, please take care.